The Pentagon has proposed to open a new fuel depot in southern Philippines by 2028. The Philippine military welcomes this development.
The greater risk to our security is the lack of a credible deterrence. These facilities will help allow the AFP to perform and to sustain its operations.
Imagine a warship, big, powerful, loaded with missiles. Now imagine it runs out of fuel 4,000 miles from the nearest gas station. That warship is not powerful anymore. It is a very expensive piece of floating metal. America knows this. China knows this. And that is exactly why what just happened in the Philippines matters more than any fighter jet or military exercise you have heard about this week. On March 31st, 2026, the United States Defense Logistics Agency quietly published a contractor solicitation. No press conference, no headlines, just a simple government notice looking for bids to build a fuel depot along the western coast of the Davao Gulf in Mindanao, Philippines. 977,000 barrels of capacity, 41 million gallons of naval and aviation fuel. Operational by April 2028. This is not routine. This is the United States drawing the final line in a fuel arc that stretches from Australia all the way to the edge of the South China Sea. And Davao, a city that most Americans cannot find on a map, is the keystone. If America's biggest weapon is not a missile, it's a fuel pump, then subscribe. Because this is the story nobody else is telling. Here is a fact that keeps American military planners awake at night. Hawaii, America's main Pacific hub, is 5,300 miles from the South China Sea. That is roughly the distance from London to New York. Twice. In a real conflict in the Western Pacific, American ships and aircraft would need fuel constantly. And getting that fuel from Hawaii to the fight would take days. Days that could decide the outcome of a war. The Pentagon has a term for this problem. They call it the tyranny of distance. For decades, America's answer was one massive facility in Hawaii, the Red Hill Bulk Fuel Storage Facility. Built during World War II, buried in volcanic rock, it once held 250 million gallons. It was America's fuel vault for the entire Pacific. Then it leaked. In 2021, fuel from the aging facility contaminated the water supply of over 93,000 people on Oahu. Military families, civilians, children. People reported rashes, vomiting, neurological symptoms. The Navy initially resisted. Then the investigations began. Then the defueling orders came. By 2024, Red Hill was empty. America's great Pacific fuel reserve was gone. And Washington had to build something smarter. Something that could not be destroyed by a single Chinese missile strike. Military strategists call it distributed logistics. The idea is simple. Do not keep all your fuel in one place. Spread it across dozens of smaller depots. Each one is a harder target. Each one extends the reach of your forces. Together, they form a web that is nearly impossible to break. Since 2023, America has been building exactly that web, quietly, methodically, across the Indo-Pacific. It starts in Darwin, Australia, a fuel depot already operational at the Royal Australian Air Force Base. Joint US-Australian. Tested. Running. Then Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea.
As discussed, we're facing a profoundly consequential moment here in the Indo-Pacific and accordingly in the world.
In September 2025, Admiral Samuel Paparo, the commander of all U.S. forces in the Pacific, personally attended the groundbreaking of a new $400 million fuel storage facility capable of storing 70 million gallons. The U.S. ambassador called it one of the most consequential developments in our security partnership in the last 80 years. DLA Energy exists to provide America's warfighters with timely and reliable access to fuel, said Navy Rear Admiral George Bresnahan, the Defense Logistics Agency Energy Commander, during his South Pacific tour in late 2025. Maintaining a decentralized network of fuel support points enables our team to deliver global energy solutions for sustained operational readiness. Darwin, Port Moresby, and now Davao. Points. 1 arc. All positioned southeast of the first island chain, out of range of China's medium-range missile arsenal, but close enough to sustain American forces operating deep in the contested Western Pacific. Look at a map. Davao sits at the northern edge of the Salib Sea. To its west is the Sulu Sea. Both of these are critical maritime choke points, transit corridors that connect the Pacific Ocean to the Indian Ocean, through which U.S. carrier strike groups regularly move. The strategic consideration of a forward-based refueling hub in the Gulf of Davao is a tactical realignment and quick access to the Sulu Sea and Salib Sea, which are vital transient routes for commercial and military vessels, said Professor Chester Cabalza, founder of the International Development and Security Cooperation think tank in Manila. In plain language, a carrier strike group sailing from the Pacific toward the South China Sea passes directly by this region. Right now, it has to stop in Manila or Subic Bay to refuel, ports that sit dangerously close to the range of Chinese missiles. The Davao Depot changes that calculation entirely. Once activated, as US NI News reports, the Davao DFSP will enable U.S. naval vessels to receive fuel products at an alternative point away from the South China Sea facing ports of Subic and Manila, which may be exposed in a potential conflict with China. Half of the fuel will be naval-grade F-76 for warships. The other half will be aviation-grade JP-5 for carrier-based aircraft. This is not logistics support for peacetime exercises. This is war readiness fuel, pre-positioned for a contingency. And in a war, that distinction matters enormously.
The greater risk to our security is the lack of a credible deterrence. These facilities will help allow the AFP to perform and to sustain its operations.
Not everyone in Manila sees this the same way. The armed forces of the Philippines welcome the depot. Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, the Philippine Navy's West Philippine Sea spokesman, was direct. The greater risk is to have no deterrence at all. So, we welcome these facilities, he said. These are Philippine facilities. Philippine-controlled facilities, he added. Citing the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, and the Visiting Forces Agreement as the legal framework. AFP Chief General Romeo Bronner echoed this at a Maritime Security Symposium at Camp Aguinaldo. Maritime security is both a national duty and a shared responsibility, he said. But inside the Philippine Congress, the reaction was different. A CT Teachers Party List representative Antonio Tinio went directly for the jugular. This planned U.S. military oil depot is not about helping Filipinos. It is about securing fuel for U.S. warships and aircraft as part of Washington's forward-based refueling chain in the Western Pacific, Tinio said. It deepens our entanglement in great power rivalry and turns parts of Mindanao into a forward operating platform for war.
Well, ang usapin dito ay pagpapanagot sa Vice Presidente. So, yun ang dapat na focus natin.
He added, fuel depots are prime military targets. Building a U.S.-controlled refueling hub in the Davao Gulf effectively paints a bullseye on communities that simply want peace, jobs, and basic services. Tinio raised a point that is uncomfortable, but real. He pointed out that Filipino families were struggling with high fuel prices and an energy crisis, while the government appeared to be welcoming a massive fuel facility for a foreign military. Ginagawang bodega ng crudo para sa digma ang Davao, he said in Filipino. Davao is being turned into a crude warehouse for war. This tension between strategic deterrence and sovereign risk is not unique to the Philippines. It is the permanent condition of every small nation caught between great powers. And it has no clean answer. Beijing is watching. China has spent the last decade building the most sophisticated anti-access, area denial network in military history. It is called A2AD, and its purpose is simple: to keep American forces so far from China's coastline that, in a conflict, the U.S. cannot intervene in time. At the center of this strategy is the missile. China's DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missile, the so-called carrier killer, has a range of roughly 900 miles. Its DF-26 reaches further still, perhaps 2,500 miles. These weapons are designed to hold American carriers, bases, and fuel depots in the Philippines at risk. But Davao sits outside the reliable strike envelope of China's medium-range systems, just barely. The geography is not perfect, but it is better than Subic, better than Manila. And paired with Darwin and Port Moresby, it creates redundancy that A2AD was not designed to defeat. China's response, predictably, has been to accelerate its own maritime assertiveness. In March 2026 alone, a Chinese warship locked its fire control radar on a Philippine naval vessel near Sabina Shoal. Chinese Coast Guard ships fired flares directly at Philippine patrol aircraft over Panganiban Reef. Chinese maritime militia vessels harassed Filipino fishermen in waters the Philippines legally owns. The message from Beijing is consistent: this is our backyard. Back off. The message from Washington, written not in press releases but in contractor bids and fuel specifications, is equally clear: we are staying. We are fueling up. And we are not going anywhere. Wars, as every serious military historian will tell you, are won by logistics. Not by the fighter with the most courage, not by the general with the most brilliant plan. By the army that can keep its men fed, its tanks fueled, and its ammunition flowing, longer and better than the other side. Napoleon failed in Russia because he could not feed his army. Japan lost the Pacific War because American submarines cut its supply lines. The Wehrmacht ground to a halt in North Africa because of fuel. America knows this history. China knows it too. What Washington is building right now, quietly, methodically, through Defense Logistics Agency contractor bids and bilateral defense agreements, is not a forward base for aggression. It is a strategic guarantee. It is the infrastructure that says, even if China fires the first shot, we will still be operational a month later. Darwin, Port Moresby, Davao. 3 fuel depots. 3 points on a map. Each one is, by itself, a mundane logistics facility. Together, they represent something else entirely. They represent the conclusion, drawn in Washington after careful deliberation, that the most important military question of the next 20 years is not who has the most missiles, but who can keep fighting when the missiles run out. America's answer is us, because we will have the fuel. And the Philippines, whether every Filipino politician agrees or not, is at the center of that answer. Here is what we know. On March 31st, 2026, a government contractor notice appeared on a U.S. Defense Agency website. It asked for bids on a fuel depot in Davao del Sur. Most people never read it. Most people never will. But in that dry, bureaucratic document was a decision that will shape the South China Sea for decades. The U.S. Air Force can fly its F-22s to Basa Air Base. The U.S. Navy can sail its destroyers through the West Philippine Sea. The U.S. Army can run its exercises at Clark. But none of that power means anything if the fuel runs out on day 6 of a conflict. The Davao Depot is America's answer to that problem. It is unglamorous. It is unsexy. It will never trend on social media. But it may be the most important military decision the United States has made in the Indo-Pacific in years. Because in the end, wars are not won by the side with the best weapons. Wars are won by the side that can keep those weapons running. If you found this analysis valuable, share your perspective in the comments. Your insights help deepen the conversation and sharpen our understanding of evolving regional dynamics. Thank you, and we will see you soon in our next geopolitical discussion.